It's a beautiful day here at Red Hen Racing, and today's the day. We're getting the Supra back on the road today. We got a whole bunch of new parts. We got a whole bunch of new hardware for all of it. Don't look in there. That's all drum brake parts and we hates it. Don't look in there. It's gonna be a good day. Let's get into it.
Speed it up, 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 speed it up. Go faster, ayy. Go faster, ayy. Go faster, ayy. Go faster, ayy.
Our supervisor is ready.
He's a tall ass baby. He's tall, and that's all that matters.
I got drool in my hair.
All right, let's see. The work listy. First thing we gotta do, plug the tank, assemble everything that swings. That'll be the trailing arm, the new shocks and springs, the sway bar, all of that. Then we can do wheel bearings, hubs, and axles. Once all that's in, we're gonna torque it properly. Yank on a torque wrench. Fuck you. I know which way a Q faces. The entire brake assembly, because we've got both shoes and calipers to deal with on the rear, because the e-brake is shoes inside of the drum rotor, which I hate. But we gotta have a functional e-brake in order to do those sweet e-brake drifts.
And there goes the control arm.
So we need that. Then we're gonna do a rough alignment. We're replacing a whole bunch of alignment related stuff, and we're gonna at least just make sure the toe is looking straight, because aside from that, we don't have a whole lot of adjustability. Then we're gonna slang a new battery in there, and then we're gonna go for an easy test drive just to make sure everything seems happy.
Supervisor, do you approve? Well, he doesn't speak English, so.
Yeah, I don't know what age that's supposed to happen, but he doesn't speak English yet, but it sounds like a grunt of approval, so. Yep, definitely approval.
Is that supposed to?
Say it with me. P-ness. Yeah, I'm the one that's immature.
So the first problem on the work list reminds me of one of my favorite verses. I believe it was one of the wise men who said, "Ella le gusta la gasolina."
That doesn't sound very wise to me.
And that's the problem, is that the gasolina doesn't want to stay in the fucking car. The wheel on a bent trailing arm was allowed to travel up and contact the gas tank. So, with this cover off, this ridge right here was able to be hit by the wheel, and there was a big chunk of rust sitting here. The wheel booped it and knocked off a chunk of rust that some holes here were wearing as a hat. I've already attempted a repair. That did not do the trick. We still have a little bit of leak. So we're gonna have to go ahead and actually address that properly.
What are you doing?
Last time we used JB Quick, and this time we're going to use a Permatex fuel tank repair. We're gonna see how that works. And if it doesn't work, then for backup, we have a different JB weld, you know? These tanks are hard to come across, and they're all rusty, and finding any replacement parts for this thing is a nightmare. So we're going to continue to try to band-aid the one that we have until it just won't anymore. It says to just knead it until it's a good, thorough, blended color, and then we're gonna goop it in there, and we'll see how it goes.
Is it giving Gumby vibes?
It's giving Gumby. I hope it's okay to get on your hands.
Not supposed to.
I'm sure it's perfectly fine.
That's probably fine.
You ate a Slim Jim out of the bilge.
I did.
Up.
You ate
I
a
did.
Slim Jim out of the bilge?
Look, when you ain't seen land in like 3 months and you drop your Slim Jim, you're not gonna just not eat that Slim Jim because you dropped it.
Buddy, there's better ways.
That's the worst. When you're in the bilge painting or cleaning or something, and then the ship shifts a little bit and it comes sloshing, and now you're laying in your own pee.
What?
All right, let's see how this stuff goops in there.
Ethanol resistant Permatex.
Perfect. For all that ethanol we run in here. Just gonna wrap up that whole seam really good. I feel like this seam is where it's still leaking from, so just gonna tack that all along there really good. It's probably fine, right? One problem down. And it's definitely never gonna be a problem ever again. I'm not worried about it.
I I'm not worried about any of this.
On to the next line item, everything that swings. It's time to actually assemble all the stuff. And for the suspension, this is what we went with. We've used BC Racing coilovers on some other cars before. Her SI was running BCs before.
They were still comfortable and for daily use on the street, but it didn't feel like clanky aftermarket suspension.
BC had a bad rap when they first came out. They were viewed as being kind of cheap stuff, but they've come a long way in recent years. And these are gonna give the adjustability that we want. Because I don't know exactly how I want this car to sit yet. If I want it to be at stock ride height or maybe a little bit higher for rally purposes. If you're not familiar, this is my rally car, obviously. It's a smart choice.
You know, these things are really stout though.
They are, it's heavy duty. These springs are
Big.
Like, look
big.
at my hand.
Maybe it's just because they're beefy, but I feel like this is a bigger gap than I'm used to seeing in like the ones for the SI and stuff. But maybe it's just because they're bigger in general.
I don't know.
Or
Let's find out. So we still gotta get the old shocks out of here. It should be a matter of just yoinking this nut off the top and the shock should fall out down there.
Nothing like yoinking a good nut.
This is a family-friendly channel. Fall. There it goes. It's
Thanks, gravity.
Ever since Benjamin Franklin invented gravity, it's made things a lot easier for us.
Some things are harder.
Yeah, you're right. Stairs are annoying. Did that have any hardware on top of it? Move, potato, Jesus Christ. All right, so these have a worn out bushing up top. And then this is the guy that it wears as a hat. Let's see if the new shocks came with any. They didn't. New shocks just have a washer.
It feels rude to put this gross, dirty hat on this pristine, minty.
Yeah, but it needs it. I'm gonna reckon that that just sits on top of that washer there. Trash. And then this guy can go in. And then it's hat, and then it's nut.
Boop, boop, boo, doo, boo, doo.
It's time to go. She said, I want something. Alright, nuts on top. Let's see if this will tighten on there without having to hold the shaft.
Oh. Well, that started spinning immediately.
Well, fuck. Make sure you're lefty-loosey.
I did that, I just can't get it to go on the... It doesn't... It's too... It won't go on there all the way.
It's on there, it's fine.
It's not on there all the way.
It's fine. Yoinking.
Oh.
Alright, pull that shock out. I'm gonna have to tighten this one up the hard way. Fucking...
Well, how come yours fell out and mine didn't?
I had to wiggle it some.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Wiggle her and get her out of there.
Gravity can't do all the work.
Whack. Thanks, Benjamin Franklin. You said this is trash?
Yep, that's trash.
Oh, how are you gonna get that out? How are you gonna get that out?
I'm gonna bang it hard on something.
Yeah, that's every mechanic's. Everybody does that. Right on the paint.
That's really in there. Ow. That's sharp. Okay, it just lives in there now. It's fine.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Get your new one in.
Oh, I didn't take the hat off this one.
You gotta get the hat. It just pulls up off of there.
Is this mud?
Probably. It's a rally car.
The song of my people. I didn't pay attention to how this came off.
So you see how this part is skinny? Because it was pressed up into that hole. You stick that up through and put the nut on.
Oh, I don't know if I can reach.
I'll do the top part.
You just don't want to have to squat down here.
You gotta push up harder.
Damn, I got an old person back. Is it on there?
I am working on it. There, it's on. Are you okay?
No, I'm in my 30s.
Kids, this is what you have to look forward to.
I have an icy hot patch on my back right now.
Is that what I smell?
Yeah.
The side that I've already threaded together doesn't seem like it went tight as it should. Let's read the fucking manual.
You actually gonna look at the directions?
Just a quick glance.
I'll edit that part out.
Yeah, I'll edit it out. I don't want them to see that I read the directions. Can't show weakness. Yeah. That's as tight as I care to go with it, and it's got some wobble to it. It doesn't have any up and down play, but I think these strut bushings are probably, you know, 40 years old and having a bad time like the rest of us. I don't see it being problematic, but it is looser than I like. So we're gonna run with it and look at ordering some new bushings for that, because that's easy to replace on the back end. Moving on. So these beefy new springs, the adjuster to make your adjustments for ride height, according to this red label, they go on top. And it's got its own rubber isolator that came with it. And on the bottom, we reused the stock ones, which are actually still in good shape, unlike everything else that was on this car. So that goes in there, and that's how it'll sit on the trailing arm. So let's get a trailing arm in. This is the one for this side. So here's our trailing arm that we pulled off of our parts car. It's freshly coated in Pour 15. We've got new hardware all around, and we have bushings. The fucking bushings. The first set of bushings that we bought were these from Energy Suspension. One side was good, but the other side was not good. This one that the cam bolt is meant to go through is supposed to reuse the stock sleeve. You can see it has a bigger head than the shaft, and when it's in there, that leaves room for it to squish, squish, squish. I looked around online to see if that was supposed to be like that, and it's not. I found posts as far back as 2006 on the forums saying, hey, the Energy Suspension kit is missing a sleeve that you need. They don't sell it, and you can't get it. You have to make one yourself. It's an incomplete kit. They're still selling it as a complete kit, so fuck you, Energy Suspension. We went with a kit from Super Pro. I got this kit from Raptor Racing out of Canada. It's an actual complete kit. All of the bushings fit properly, I hope. I mean, we haven't bolted it up yet. I don't want to speak too soon, but they fit in the arms properly. They look proper. SPF 3180K. If you're playing along at home, that's the kit that you want. They work, hopefully. Let's find out. So here's all our new hardware. We're gonna throw some anti-seize on these bolts here to make sure that we don't run into the same problem we did with the last ones, and they are completely seized in their sleeves and have to be sawzalled out. We're going with regular Permatex anti-seize. We're gonna brush them up and make sure that you get it all over you, as is tradition. Just a little dabble of that.
Does anti-seize really make a difference?
I don't know. I've literally never used it before on anything. Keeps the metals from like rusting to each other. Galvanic corrosion might be a phrase that's relevant, but I don't know what it means. Leave me a comment, let me know. Is this galvanic corrosion we're preventing? Are you ready? I'll go down there and get it in position, and when I'm ready, I need you to hand me these two bolts. Don't touch the silver, because it'll get literally everywhere. I only put it on the shank, it's not on the threads. The stuff on the threads is just normal grease that only gets kind of, oh god damn it. My life is anti-seize now.
Like glitter?
Yeah, it's like glitter, how once you touch it, it's fucking everywhere. Grab some refreshing beverage.
This is how everyone holds their can.
Nutritious and delicious. All right.
Don't touch the tips. This is a family channel, guys. Get it together.
This side is a little wide. Our bushings are a little fucky. Grab this back out. When I was pushing these guys in here, I did feel like this one was a little wider than necessary. This side goes in fine. No trouble at all. But this side is a little bit too wide to fit into where it goes in the subframe there. The bushing is wider than the metal sleeve, as you can see. I'm just gonna trim some off and trim it back to be flush with that metal sleeve. Yeah. That should be enough, and hopefully that does not affect the longevity of this bushing.
Is the warranty voided now?
I void warranties. We shaved off a good bit, made it flush-ish. It's gonna go right in now.
It needs to go this way.
Man, these are still really hard to get in. Getting all of this to line up just right is exhausting.
Can you wiggle?
Alright, those are both started pretty well. Get the spring in here and get it swung up into place. I think this was actually on the top of the stock spring. Yeah, that little ridge there sits in a little cup up top up there, which is replaced by this one now. This one doesn't go on the bottom. I bet it was these isolators here that are very, very unhappy.
You can still reuse that, right?
We're gonna use these anyway, because it does fit there nicely on these springs. So I'm gonna put it on the bottom anyway. It ain't where it was on top of the stock spring, but it fits nicely on the bottom of these. So we're just gonna send it that way and see what happens. How the fuck are you supposed to adjust that up in there? Do you have to remove these springs to make adjustments? No, don't just nod along behind the camera as if you're the one that's gonna have to do this shit. What the fuck?
What the hell is even that?
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to compress that with another jack. Is that as high as this fucking jack goes? Stay there. Piece of wood. Almost there. Alright. That's the height we need. We'll get the shock bolted up. Where's my shock bolts? Here we go. Got a little dime baggie of shock bolts.
A what baggie?
A dime baggie. Because that's what banks use to, I think like $10 worth of dimes fits in there, and that's why they're called that. Threaded in. I swear to God, if you don't fucking go in there. Oh my God. Why do bad things happen to good people? The bushings on this shock are a lot wider than the stock bushings were, so the bolt doesn't reach. So I got the shock attached, wound up having to grab some longer bolts. So this is what held it in there before, and he's just not long enough anymore. These that I have that are the right size and thread pitch actually are too long, but I just cut like ½ an inch off of here and moved that cup washer deal onto it. That seems to have worked. Just get this guy torqued down, and then all of the swinging assembly is done over here. Get all this same stuff done on the other side, and then we're ready to mount the sway bar. Bolt that holds the shock to the trailing arm, like on that side, was not having a good time on this side. It was completely stripping out, so we ground a bolt head to fit in there and welded it in place. So now we can get the shock on and then just run a nut on instead of it being a bolt that goes through. I'm gonna assume that that's fine and safe. Who's a good flux core? Haven't used that thing in years. I try to avoid it because I'm an absolute trash welder, but a grinder and paint makes the welder I ain't. Look at that. Fucking mint. Alright, trailing arm is bolted up with the new springs, with the new shocks, with our new welded stud. All that's good to go. That took a while. It got dark. Where did everybody go? Whack. So the next step is our Whiteline sway bar. This appears to be a really good kit. Came with new bushings. Got a new different style of end link. They're going to attach very differently than the stock ones did. So the stock sway bar had an end link on it like this that pokes down through the trailing arm. And this setup instead is going to mount this L bracket through the trailing arm and provide a mount point that these end links will attach to. It's a little bit of a conversion, a different style than stock, but same. So let's get that bolted up. Right, So the rear coilovers are in, shocks, springs, trailing arms. The sway bar is completely bolted up, and I did go ahead and set it to the full stiff setting. I appreciate a good stiff rear, you know, as much as the next guy. So now that all of that is bolted up, it's not all torqued tight yet. We'll do that once we get the hubs and axles and stuff. We'll go through with the torque wrench and torque everything down, because we got to break out the torque wrench when the hubs go in. But that concludes this step. Everything that swings is all bolted together. Now it's time to move on to the wheel bearings, hubs, and axles, which is the part I'm looking forward to the least, because I've turned wrenches plenty, but I've never really dealt with pulling and installing new bearings. This is my first time doing wheel bearings. We're gonna see how it goes. You wanna watch me fuck it up from my perspective? Here we go. These trailing arms we took over to Tyler, and he pressed new races into them where it needed them. Next step, pack the bearings with grease. I think we can handle that. So we're gonna be using this Valvoline full synthetic moly fortified gray grease, recommended for use in all wheel bearings. I have zero experience with any wheel bearing grease, so I'm just gonna hope that the can is correct. Yep, that appears to be grease. Is that enough? I don't know. And then we just smush it in there, I guess. Is that good? I feel like that's good. It's got grease in it. Let's do some more just in case. I don't know how to tell. They said to look for it packing up out of the top side, but everything is so dirty and full of grease that I can't tell, which makes me feel like it's probably good. Give it a few more boops for good measure, and I'm gonna consider this done. Fuck you, light. I'm gonna call that good. Save you for later. Install the bearing and drive in the new oil seal to a depth of 31 millimeters. Punch, seal, bearing. Mr. Tappy. Here we go. It's spinning. We're getting there. All right, I'm pretty confident that we've got it together correctly. Hub, shaft, flange, assembly is all put together. New wheel bearings, new seals. That's it. That's another step marked off of our work list. Time to yank on a torque wrench. It's nice seeing it all actually connected to each other again. So the axles, flanges, all of our suspension bits, everything is torqued down now. Mechanically, everything under here is in place and ready to go. It's time to move on to the brakes, I guess. Have I mentioned lately that I fucking hate drum shoes? Whatever the fuck this is goes between them. This arm onto the e-brake cable. Ow! You son of a bitch. If you like drum brakes, I need you to leave a comment defending yourself. Tell me why you think drums are a good idea, because this is bullshit. Ow. Oh, hey, man.
You haven't been working on this all night, have you?
We're having fun. It's a good timing. We just got... Fuck, it's been a long night. We just got all the brake shoe springs together, and it's time to see if a rotor actually fits over it. What did I have done when you left for work?
You were working on everything that swings.
Oh yeah, because I had to do this trailing arm by myself, which fucking sucked. This bolt was a bitch. So, while you were at work, we got both trailing arms, everything is torqued down, new sway bar is in, All bolts for it is torqued down. New coilovers are in, both the springs and shocks on both sides. I think I might have actually did the wheel bearings correctly because it turns and doesn't make any angry noises.
You didn't run into any minor inconveniences, did you?
Have you ever even seen that welder?
No. Oh, whose is that? Is that yours?
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't lying. I really try not to fucking weld anything ever because I don't.
You weld?
I avoid it at all costs. This shock mount is supposed to be a bolt that goes in. It was stripped out and it's a stud nut combo now instead of being a hole with a bolt. I welded that.
And if it sits, it fits, right?
I welded, it held it. If we're ever driving along and just hear a loud bang or, you know, feel like a shock isn't attached suddenly, that's the first thing to check. Yeah, so now we're ready to put rotors on and see if they actually fit happily over how I've arranged the shoes. We'll get the rotors on and then we can put the calipers on and...
What's the next step?
We're almost done. We're in the middle of entire brake assembly. So, yeah, new rotors, rotor drums. Is there a different phrase for rotors that are also drums on the inside for the e-brake? I don't know if that's a common thing or not. Like, I've never worked on anything that had that kind of setup that has both shoes and pads, and I think it's dumb. So hopefully this just fits right over here. Why are you not going? Don't you want to go in your home? Why are you unhappy? How did I just get grease on me?
Has this been all night?
Yeah, it's everywhere. At least it's just grease and not anti-seize though. Why is this not going on? Soon as you think you understand drum brakes. Why would the drum not go on right now? Why is it not going on?
What's it like rallying a Supra?
It's the best. And I'd like to do it again. But in order to do it again, literally ever, I have to get this fucking drum on. And I don't know why it won't go on.
He's about to do something stupid.
A little bit of physical education never hurt nobody.
Just a couple of small tappies never hurt nobody. It still turns. It's a little sticky, but maybe that'll free up.
So what's this side's problem? Just that heat shield?
Same, just bending the heat shield back. We've got the rotor drums set over them, and now we just got to put together all of the disc brake hardware, which is much, much easier. We've got all new hardware. We've got new bleeder screws. We've got new bolts holding the calipers, brackets in place. I mean, we've got new hardware everywhere that was feasible. So it should go together really easily, and then it's just a matter of bleeding it.
Look at those tattoos.
The devil's ink. I heard people with tattoos are going to hell. That's what you get, sinners.
I know they make tools for that, but I never buy it.
This is the right tool for this. I just squeezed fluid out onto myself. There's old fluid still in the line. Why does the fluid look like Coke? Looks like I just spilled Dr. Pepper on myself. This fluid's gross.
Did you smell it? To see if it smelled?
Time to change this fluid. It tastes really, really bad. Look at that shit. Oh my God. Oh, that's gross. We're almost there. All right. Everything is bolted up. Just got to finish out the lines. We got to reinstall the hard lines, and then we can bleed it. Oh God, you'll have that. Well, perfect, like new.
Love having a bench grinder?
Yeah, it's nice. I'm not scared of it. It's like a strong woman. You gotta respect it or it'll bite your dick off. And my fingers are sore from turning all of this tiny, tight hardware. We're almost done though. All right, lines are tight. It's time to bleed brakes.
Time lapse.
Time lapse.
What step are you on?
Let's look at the work list. Brakes are bled. Did you show them the stuff that came out of it? Even after we finished bleeding air out, we kept flushing a little bit more. And that's all the good juice. Brakes are bled. All the lines are bolted up and good to go. Entire brake assembly is complete. Time for a rough alignment. I'm just gonna set them roughly the same on both sides, and as long as nothing's just like horribly wrong, we're gonna call it close enough, because after we do the front end, the whole car is gonna go get actually aligned. This is just the roughest alignment to make sure that it's like safe to take around the block.
Creep, bro.
I hate having to figure out upside down and backwards righty-tighty. I'm over here doing geometry to try to figure out if it's actually right or not. Also, I used a jack stand, just for you. You guys always talk shit about jack stands. There you go. He's not doing much, but he's here for emotional support. That's all that really matters. Gotta be careful under here. I don't wanna fuck up my nice Red Hen Racing shirt from the redhenracing.com online store. I made the mistake of wearing this shirt in public the other day and I got catcalled 17 times. I should go get you one. They're on sale. That's a lie. They're not on sale. I actually already have them literally as cheap as I can. Go check them out. Damn the club tonight. Let's twerk it out. All right. Rough alignment is done. Next step is to sling a new battery in there, but I really want to see this on the ground, so we're gonna go ahead and put wheels on. Doodle doodle. So that's a 195, that's the front. Woo.
You want a hand?
No, I can do it. I'm big, I can do it. So there's not a whole lot of wheel options for this thing. It's a shitty 4x114 lug pattern. The best option we've got are these Koenig rewinds. So these are a 15x7 with a 0 offset. And for the rally season, we're gonna be running a 195 in the front, a 205 in the rear, Blizzags. 205/65 specifically. Pop a center cap in here. Oh God.
Hey, that's not perfectly straight.
It's not straight. Is that good?
It's good enough.
That looks good from here. Woo. Bonk.
The paint.
The stock mag style lug nuts won't work with these. These are my favorite cheap-ish lug nut from Stance Magic on Amazon. They're better than AutoZone shit. And I just really hate splined lug nuts. I don't like having to find a key when it's time to take a wheel off. These guys are, they're just a regular 17 mil head. I'm concerned that this is gonna be low. We wanted to maintain about the stock ride height, and based on where this wheel is sitting already, and it's not even on the ground yet, I don't know. Might be too low. We're probably gonna have to be adjusting it, and they look pretty shitty to adjust, so I'm not looking forward to that. Man, this wheel looks good on here though, right?
It does look good.
That was a good wheel choice. I like those. Hell yeah. It doesn't have nearly that much camber on this side. Interesting. My rough alignment's pretty rough, but it's on the ground. It's on its own 2 feet. Let's get a battery in here and see what this thing do. Got a battery, got a battery. Snugging down the battery, snugging down the battery. All right. We got a battery. Open the garage door and let's get the Miata out of the way. You know, I'm just gonna go drive my Supra real quick. No big deal. All right, here we go. Zip. I hope it starts. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. on the road again. I got my Supra on the road again. You hear any unusual noises?
Nope.
You know, a little side-to-side action. Let's see. Feels good so far. I don't hear any brakes dragging. I don't hear any bearings grinding. No weird clunks or jangles or anything. We just might have pulled this off. Hey! Santa's here! What is Santa doing? Yeah. Hey, thank you. Yeah, no problem. Thank you, boss. Man, that right side has a lot of camber, doesn't it? Oh, the left side does too. Yeah. I guess my rough alignment's pretty fucking rough. Chow. The Supra lives. I'm so happy. This is my fucking dream car, and it's been really rough having it down for so long. Really puts a smiley face on my heart for it to be on its own 2 feet again. It's good stuff. That's what we do. We just do whatever puts a smiley face on our heart. And I'm glad to have you guys along for it. Tell me what you think. Leave me a comment. I'm actually legally obligated to reply to every single comment, so let me know what you think. This was just the rear. The front still has a long way to go, but it's gonna get put on the back burner because next weekend we are running a rally in the Miata. Since this isn't ready for a rally right now, we're having to go and take the Miata. We'll probably go break it this time. Have the Miata down for 5 months, but so we've got some other projects to go on. We've got some stuff going on with the Rebel. Even the Passport's gonna get some love. Doing the front end on this is gonna have to go on the back burner for a minute, but if you wanna be along for the ride with us, feel free to subscribe, and we appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Love you.
We out here doing hella gang shit.